Back here to the Hill on NewsNation. The trade war intensifying tonight. China raising its tariffs against the U.S. to 125%. But also this, a stunning admission about cyber attacks on the U.S. The Wall Street Journal reporting the Chinese officials revealed in a series of cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure during a secret meeting back in December. Beijing telling the Biden administration they spent years targeting computer networks in the U.S., including power grids, water supplies, ports, and airports. China linking the attacks to increasing U.S. support for Taiwan. With me now, once again, the retired Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert. General, thanks for being with us tonight. Appreciate it. Always nice to see you, sir. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Blake. Thanks for having me.
So, you remember last year, it was early 2024, when the government came out and said, look, there's this group called Volt Typhoon. They are a criminal enterprise within China, and they're doing all sorts of bad things, right? And the belief is, with China, with Russia, with Iran, all that runs to the top, right? So should we be surprised that China acknowledged this?
Blake, we shouldn't be surprised, but this is a very clear threat from China to the United States, that they have hacked into our infrastructure, which means that they can turn out the lights or shut off our water at any point. And they want us to remember that every time we make a move in geopolitics, such that we have to consider that they could do real harm to the United States and to the average citizen. And that meeting in December and that not so subtle threat was a reminder that they have real leverage against us.
So that was under an old administration, though, right? Obviously, the Biden administration was outgoing. Donald Trump had just won the election in the prior month. Actions do speak louder than words. Why do you think they levied the threat? Maybe because they knew they were getting into another trade war with Trump? I don't know. Why do you think?
Blake, I think that they wouldn't have the guts to do so against the Trump administration. But
so you think none of these headlines going forward?
No, I think that they knew they were transmitting something to the Trump administration and the United States of America going forward. But I think they did it at the transition of administrations so that it would be a lingering consideration for both the outgoing Biden and the incoming Trump in any decision they make, whether it's related to trade or geopolitics or national security.
What's the practical effect here, General?
I think that this is classic deterrent theory, Blake, that they want us, if we had a decision to make, to sit on the sidelines and not do something that they would not want us to do, because we know that they have a lever that could be very harmful to us. And until the National Security Agency or United States Cyber Command find a way to extricate ourselves from this leverage from the Chinese, then they have a threat that's hanging over our head at all times.
You say deterrence, right? And I hear you. They were not, China doesn't like our position toward Taiwan. Right? And that position probably isn't changing anytime soon. I mean, we're selling fighter jets, F-16s, new F-16s to them. So what sort of changes here? Because American policy is not going to change, is it?
Blake, I think that as they're considering what they're going to do in the Western Pacific, ultimately against Taiwan, and whether that is a blockade or whether that is an attack, that they would love to pull all the levers they can, and they've been consistent in doing so, to make us question and make the world question whether we will engage in provocation that comes from China in the Western Pacific. And I think that this is a consistent part of their strategy called unrestricted warfare, where they consider ourselves at war against the United States in all domains, in all times, in all spectrums. And this is just another example of that.
General, I've been around Washington long enough to know that the NSA director and some NSA folks were let go by this administration just the other day. And in that article, it also mentioned how the current administration could potentially scale back on cybersecurity efforts going forward. And I wonder if this, again, granted that we know it's no surprise that everything runs to the top in China, if this was a leak to try to get the attention of the Trump administration to say, don't do that, don't go there.
Blake, I do think it's important that the timing of this, wherever that leak came from,
I'm not saying it is, but I'm just connecting some dots here.
No, I think that it's important to realize that the Trump administration has to consider that the cyber domain is extremely important. And whatever the United States does going forward against China or others, that we have to defend ourselves and have offensive capability in that domain. And this is a reminder that the cyber domain is extremely important.
Retired Brigadier General John Teichert, always nice to see you, hear your perspective. Have a great weekend, sir. I'm sure we'll be talking again soon. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.